Marcellus,
Yes.
I'll start with you. Did last night prove the Packers are still totally reliant on Aaron Rodgers?
It did, and I am so torn on this one because I can't lie. I wish I lived in a parallel universe where Aaron Rodgers didn't make those comments earlier in the week, and he still goes out there and throws it 53 times, including we saw, obviously, in the fourth quarter, 4 times on the 1-yard line. I wish I lived in a world where those comments mentally didn't connect to what I saw out there because let's give Matt LaFleur some credit. Let's give Coach something. He knows that Aaron Rodgers, when he has to throw the ball that much, is not a successful winning quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, 10 times in his career, has thrown over 48 pass attempts. His record is 2-8. Guess what? You know that's not a formula for success. Even the great Aaron Rodgers will go out there and air it out. But what are you to do? We've all been there before. All the weapons decimated. You lose Adams. You lose Williams. Now you start to look at 4 undrafted receivers become your starters and a 5th rounder. And then he's like, well, you know what's for dinner, y'all? Spam. Nobody want to eat it. But damn it, I ain't going to bed hungry. I'm going out there and riding Aaron Rodgers till the wheels fall off. The wheels fell off. And usually in this situation, Aaron Rodgers doesn't succeed. Once again, he failed. So they win with Aaron, and they die with Aaron.
I'm with you. They're going to have to be totally reliant on Aaron Rodgers. And last night was an exact – when Davante Adams went out, it was like, what is he going to do? Early in that first ball he threw the go route to Davante, man, it just dropped out the sky. You didn't have to decelerate. It was a perfectly thrown ball. And it was – last night was a microcosm of they went into the game saying, I don't think we can run the ball. They didn't try to run the ball.
They did, third quarter, early.
It was a one-possession game the entire game. And so you think we get the ball first and goal on the 1-yard line. If you can't run the ball 4 times and get 1 yard, you don't deserve to win.
Say it.
And they didn't try. That's okay when you have Aaron Rodgers.
I'm going to give them this out, though. I think they ran a RPO in one of these plays. Aaron was going to run it in himself.
I think that was second down.
And they defended it well, and he just threw the ball away. But
I don't know. We just saw in a primetime game, Cleveland, same situation, 4 pass attempts. Freddie Kitchens said, I should have ran it once. And you think Matt LaFleur didn't see that and say, yeah, I think I should run it once when I get in that situation. Instead, he passed.
But you know what Matt LaFleur's thinking?
What?
I got Aaron Rodgers under center. He got Baker Mayfield under center. So
great point.
Could be.
Well,
Yeah.
in Cleveland, they ran 4th and 9. They ran a draw. So
That ain't saying much either. They thought they had you back there.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
I wish I could say different from you guys, but, man, for sure, this is the Aaron Rodgers show. And, I feel bad for Aaron because, when you lose a quarterback, you're the star player, all the blame goes on you. Well, why didn't he see the guy in the back of the end zone? Why didn't he see the coverage? Why didn't he do this? And you said it best, TJ. If you don't you got to have a running game. You might want to try to get rid of the running back. People want to say the running back is obsolete. The running back is very important in every game. Look at the Eagles, with Jordan Howard. They ran the football. They saw something in the Packers like this great defense. We can run the football on them. And with Aaron Rodgers, that's all they got to depend. They used to have what's Obama receiver name? Greg Jennings, his name.
There you go.
Just kidding, Greg. Just kidding, Greg. They needed Greg Jennings last night.
They needed something, and I look at this team, and I say this isn't a playoff team. Despite this 3-0 start, now 3-1. This is a 500 football team, if not 7-9. I think Aaron Rodgers out because, and ED, you know this, turf toe is what Davante. That's all season long. He won't be as effective.
Let me tell you something about turf toe.
There it is.
The year in 1984, and I would say this to Davante Adams, if you could get in touch with me, however, through Fox or whatever, I thought I couldn't play. I really thought my season's over with. They developed a thing that called a toe piece. I still have it. In my home. That's the only way I could run. I ran for 2,000 yards in that thing, and I'm like, my toe hurts so. I'm like, oh my, I can't put a shoe on this foot. They had to drain it, injected it. I wore this toe piece, had to wrap it around, cut my shoe open to get some pressure off of it. But that is the only way. I played my whole career with it, with a toe piece. So Davante, if you get that, I can get you that toe piece. That will help you play football.
Look, that was a great story. I ain't gonna lie though. Davante, where you at? He dropped a pin about 10 minutes ago before the show started and looked at that
still
floor
hurt.
like it was the abyss of earth. You were like, I'm not going down there. I don't know what this is.
I need another pen.
It ain't going to end well for you, Devontae, if you listen to this
When
man.
you're 59 years old,
Can they do anything? Can they make the playoffs? Can they keep pace with the Detroit Lions or whoever the best team is in the NFC North?
No. We saw last night that this offense, look, we understand the injuries, but that's a part of the game, so I just can't keep going down that lane. Let's talk about how they're second most 3-and-outs in the league before last night's offensive performance. Let's talk about the fact that they're third worst in third down in the NFL before we saw the performance last night, which was tilted heavily towards Aaron Rodgers, and that's not a recipe for success. That is not sustainable. That is not reliable, what we saw out of this offense. And now the defense looked porous. So we walked in this game saying the defense we can count on, put them in the vault, and let's go see if we can get a little more out of Aaron Rodgers. We realized that if this team is going to be hobbled, even if this team is at full throttle, it doesn't seem like it's calculated for this team to have dual success.
I can't bury him right now. You can't just look at the first 3 games and say it was fool's gold. They beat a good Minnesota team, or who we perceive to be a good Minnesota. They lost 1 game. The Eagles schemed them in the run game. They had some holes that were so wide open, it was like, I felt like I could have run through those things. They lost the game. Go back, regroup. Are they as good as they were the first 3 games defensively? Probably not, but it's not as bad as it was. And Philadelphia was a Super Bowl favorite to a lot of teams coming out the NFC. You lose that game, it's really not that big of a deal. Go fix the mistakes you made and let's regroup.
I thought Philadelphia's a better football team either way. Philadelphia could have easily been 2-1 or 3-0. But when you look at it, when your quarterback, I mean, I know it's early, but your quarterback is your leading rusher in a big game like this. He's throwing for 400 yards. He's running for 46 yards. You've got to find a way to run the football. The Packers haven't had a running game in 3 years. They really haven't. So you've got to find a way to get some kind of running game going.
Well, my concern is their offensive line, because even with Aaron Rodgers throwing for more than 400 yards, he did a lot of that moving in the pocket, avoiding a pass rush constantly. And again, it was a really impressive performance to me from Aaron Rodgers. The whole burden was on him, didn't have pass protection, a bunch of inexperienced wide receivers, not that talented out there, and he made things happen. And I thought when they went down at the end of the first half, I was like, wow, this is going to be one of those nights. And they come out again, though, what they've struggled with all season, second half adjustments, and just 7 points in the second half. I think they're now averaging 5 points in the second half through 4 games. I question whether Matt LaFleur is built for this situation, because he came in thinking his offense and we're going to take some responsibility off of Aaron Rodgers' shoulder, and that's all blown up in the air now. Aaron Rodgers got to put his Superman cape on.
And that's the problem. This is why I don't think there is a formula for success for this team. First few games, less A-Rod, greater results. They win those games. The defense, second best in scoring defense behind the Patriots. Amazing. We tilt the formula. We tilt it towards more A-Rod, the criticism, the comments, or just the injuries. Now, where's the defense? So sometimes you can get into a psychological looky-loo. It happens a lot in basketball when they say Kobe shows up or some great player. Everybody all of a sudden, I'm watching. This defense all of a sudden got compromised in ways that I don't know if it was just by assignment, by alignment, or by philosophy. It seems like once you tilt this too heavily towards Aaron Rodgers, the defense didn't respond. If they would have just been average, status quo defense that they were the first 3 games, they win this game easily.
They got gashed, though, up front,
Something happened differently.
They're good on the back end.
Yes.
They're good on the back end. They got gashed. Blake Martinez, I don't want to call him out, but he made some mental mistakes, mental errors where he's supposed to cover the back out the backfield. He's not covering him. He catch the ball, goes in for a touch. That's a mental mistake. That's an error. You're in man defense. You shouldn't get caught up in the mesh when you know they're running a pick route, because Philly runs that a lot. So those things can be corrected. They got gashed up front. Defense, we got good secondary guys. We got to try to stop the run for it. Dude, Carson Wentz threw for 160 yards. They got gashed.
And listen to that. Now here's the equation. Aaron throws for 422, and the opponent throws for 160, and we lose?
Because they're running the ball, they're shortening the game.
All I'm saying is that's going to be tough to digest as a team. Our quarterback played that well. Theirs played. He threw touchdowns, but
look at it like
it's going to be
this.
tough.
I think about Matt LaFleur. Now you got Aaron Rodgers. Why can't Aaron Rodgers call his own plays? Why does he have to depend on Matt LaFleur to call his plays?
Because he's the coach.
But no. He says Peyton Manning called his plays. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has played long enough. You got a rookie head coach. Let me call my plays. You do the defense. You do everything else. Let me do this. You concentrate on that. When I watch it, I'm like, why come he has to wait on these plays to come in? Let him run the offense. Even I think when they were down on the goal line, first and goal, first and 10, first and goal, one on the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
I think as a quarterback, I think even Aaron Rodgers would have said, let's run this ball at least one time.
I'm a receiver, and
let's
I was
run
like,
it one time. Let's run it one time.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.